New developments in the death of a Georgia toddler left in a hot car. The child's father, Justin Ross Harris, has been fired now from his job at Home Depot. Meanwhile, hundreds of newly discovered internet postings are emerging.
Also new, the child's mother, Leanna Harris, has hired her own lawyer, and she's reportedly left Georgia. I want to discuss all these new developments further with former criminal prosecutor Dan Schorr. Good to have you back with us. We've been sort of following this along with you, and you give us your insight. What is your insight about the fact that his employment has been terminated by Home Depot? And then we'll get to the internet postings, because they're mind-boggling.
It seems to be a no-brainer to fire him. First of all, he's sexting at work with an underage girl in addition to other women while he's supposed to be working. That enough is a fireable offense. And then add to it what he did with his child, leaving his child in their parking lot all day where he died. I couldn't imagine them keeping him on the payroll.
Yeah, they don't even need the child stuff though, to dismiss him now that it's come out about the sexting
activities,
at work,
if you will. Yeah.
There's no office that would tolerate that behavior. Sexting at work with other people. He's supposed to be working, and there's an underage girl. Of course they're going to fire him.
In this internet stuff, the more we see of it, again, this gets to the second life, the possibility of motive or more of a motive, but none of it a slam dunk in and of itself or a smoking gun.
Right, but it adds to the whole picture that he was someone who was unhappy with his life. He was looking up internet postings about having a child-free life. He's obviously looking to date other people. So he was trying to change his life. It adds to that. It doesn't prove that he committed murder, but it's another piece of evidence.
Let's talk about the mother now for a second. She has a lawyer right now. Now, there are people who look at this and go, oh, she's luring up. This is suspicious. What does she have to hide? But as a lawyer, you would say this is something that is essential to do, I imagine.
Of course, and whenever someone hires a lawyer, people think they have something to hide, as you said, but she's being investigated for a murder. Her husband is being prosecuted for murder. She'd be a fool not to retain an attorney who could advise her whether or not she's innocent. She needs legal advice about how to proceed, what to say to the police.
Different lawyer than her husband.
It has to be a different lawyer. There'd be a conflict if it was the same lawyer representing both of them, because she may testify against him at trial or in another phase.
I was going to say, you'd wonder what the lawyer would have told her about going to visit her husband, and the fact that those conversations between her husband, who is in jail, and she, who is out of jail, would be recorded. Let's turn to another story. Do you mind if we ask you about one more?
Sure.
We have been watching this story for several weeks now, this disturbing story out of Detroit about the young boy who was missing for something like 11 days, and then he was found in his father's basement. We want to play with you the reaction. He was live. The father was live with our Nancy Grace when he was told that his son was found in the basement. And then we'll discuss some developments.
And you're telling us that you searched your basement and your wife searched your basement.
I searched my basement, my wife searched my basement, the FBI searched my basement, the Detroit police searched my basement.
All right, so we watched that the day after it happened, and we all sort of felt certain ways about it. But now that we're hearing from the documents that we're getting from investigators about what this little boy had to endure, he had to do 100 sit-ups, 200 push-ups, something like this incredible amount of workout for a 12-year-old boy twice a day, 7 days a week, that he may have been beaten with a PVC pipe. When you hear all of that, it's so upsetting. You look at that father's reaction. How do you reconcile those things?
It's a bizarre case. I've never seen anything like it. The child saying that he was beaten with a pipe. There are injuries that corroborate that. There was blood found on a pipe in the home. But the fact that the FBI and the police searched this house multiple times and didn't find this child, who was there for 11 days. Apparently the stepmother, according to the child, ordered him to hide behind a barricade. It's a very, very strange situation here.
Neither have been arrested yet. They're being investigated at this point, both parents.
Right, but there seems to be powerful evidence of child endangerment here. You have injuries to the child that are corroborating the child's story of being abused. The police are going to take their time and put everything together, but I'd be surprised if there's not some kind of child endangerment charges if the police believe the child's telling the truth here.
Absolutely, and that little boy's going to have a long road ahead of him to recover from this and learn how to trust adults again and know that he was betrayed by family if this all proves to be true.
Absolutely. He will need therapy, because how do you overcome such an ordeal that he's allegedly experienced, and it seems like he did.
All right, Dan Schorr, great to have you with us, even though the stories are far from great.
Thanks for having me back.